10. The Ring. Based on a Japanese movie released just 4 years earlier, The Ring captivated audiences upon its release in 2002. Taking the often laughable threats of viral emails and memes to a truly terrifying conclusion, this movie involves a haunted videotape which threatens to kill anyone who does not show the tape to someone else within 7 days of watching it. Unsurprisingly, fear soon spreads, and the terror only increases as the movie goes on. The film is also responsible for one of the most terrifying scenes ever captured on film when the figure of a young girl who was imprisoned in a well climbs out of the television screen. Therefore The Ring begins our list with number 10. 9. It. Based on the idea of a creepy clown who lures children away from safety, after which they are never seen again, this movie might explain why so many people suffered from a fear of clowns. The sewer-swelling monster plays on the fears of its victims to incite an extreme level of terror. It was originally aired as a horror miniseries, which is the reason for its almost 3-hour-long running time. The classic opening scene depicts a small boy being coaxed towards a sewer drain by Pennywise the dancing clown who promises him gifts and treats. The movie It therefore comes at number 9. 8. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The story starts out innocently enough with a group of teenagers driving across America that decide to stop and pick up a hitchhiker. Things soon turn sour when the hitchhiker produces a razor and proceeds to slash himself and a member of the group. After ejecting him from the car, the visibly rattled teens continue on a journey which is about to get a whole lot worse. In order to generate buzz for the movie, the marketing team promoted it as a true story. This piqued the audience's interest, but soon sent them running from movie theaters in horror after witnessing the more brutal scenes. The movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes at number 8. 7. The Shining. This terrifying slasher horror movie features Jack Nicholson's character who turns crazy and goes on the rampage, chasing after his family through a haunted hotel to try to kill them. Some of the images from this classic horror movie have become infamous throughout society, such as the image of Nicholson's deranged face poking through a hole that he's hacked in the door using an axe. This horror drama was released in 1980 and secures 7th position. 6. Hellraiser. Hellraiser is a weird movie. The main character is a skinless man who is accidentally returned from the dead by his brother. He convinces the beautiful young woman who loved him in life to bring him the blood he needs to restore himself fully to life. She obliges by luring men to the house and then murdering them. Once her creepy and dead boyfriend is restored to life, that's when the movie gets really strange. You will need to watch it to find out exactly what that means. Give yourself a stack of cushions to hide behind during the scariest bits. The movie opens with a character named Frank purchasing a mysterious puzzle box from a dealer in Morocco. Hellraiser secures 6th position. 5. The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense was released in 1999 and enjoyed great success with fear-seeking audiences worldwide. Bruce Willis takes on the role of Dr. Crow, a child psychologist who is going through marital difficulties. His wife feels that Crow puts his work before everything else in their lives and barely acknowledges his presence in their home. A disturbed former patient of Crow's breaks into their home and accuses Crow of failing him as a young boy. The patient shoots Crow in the abdomen before committing suicide in the doctor's house. Several years later, Crow is suffering from self-doubt as he tries to help Cole get to the bottom of his terrifying hallucinations. The Sixth Sense is on 5. 4. A Nightmare on Elm Street. I am sure you have once in a life heard about this movie. Serial killer Freddy Krueger stalks this Midwestern neighborhood, bringing terror and even death to teenagers while they thought they were safe in their beds. Featuring a young Johnny Depp, this movie spread fear across America when it was released in 1984. The movie was recreated in 2010, but in many ways the original is creepier. The sight of Krueger's deformed face will have you shuddering and disbelieving that such horror can be created using just makeup. This dreamy creepy movie comes at number 4.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
3. The Blair Witch Project. When it was released in 1999, The Blair Witch Project had audiences flocking to the movie theaters to see what all the fuss was about. As with so many of the creepiest films, the director has realized that showing the fear of the main characters can pull on the audience's scare strings more than putting any amount of vampires, ghouls, serial killers or werewolves on screen. It is difficult to describe exactly why this film is scary, but you will almost certainly get caught up in the fear that is playing out in the eyes and voices of the characters on screen. The movie has saved its position on number 3. 2. Poltergeist. Another classic creepy horror movie is Poltergeist, which was released in 1982. If you have not already seen this movie, then you need to add it to your watch list. You might not think that a movie where the evil is completely faceless could be so terrifying, but in reality that only adds to the scare factor. You are sure to share in the family's fear as ordinary household objects start to turn against them. Just make sure you have company when you watch this movie. Watch it alone, and even the normal environment of your home could start to creep you out. It has made its way throughout the list at number 2. 1. The Exorcist. The Exorcist is a classic horror movie, and for a good reason. The story of an innocent little girl possessed by an evil demon has been captivating audiences since the movie's release in 1973. You won't forget the image of the child's possessed face, or her unnatural body positions, including the famous revolving head scene. Expect to be scared silly by this creepy horror flick, which has been making audiences afraid to sleep alone for more than 40 years. Even without the help of special effects, the film is thoroughly convincing and contains some truly heart-stopping moments that terrify even the toughest horror fans. It is the most horror movie of all time and is at number 1 of our list.